Glad to have you here at Pixel Peak. This week we're changing up our format from the usual routine, but keeping our exciting yet informative content. Anyways, you'll see that as we move through this episode.
Starting us off, there will no longer be a game review, but rather we'll be collaborating with some friends from AppTV to play Jackbox.
I never liked Jack in the Boxes. They scare me when they pop out.
No, not an actual Jack in the Box. It's the name of... Never mind. You'll see for yourself.
Okay. We're also going to get to talk to analyst Ruby Hall about Square Enix, as well as find out what's been happening with GTA 5 recently. And last but not least, we can't forget Universal's newest Super Nintendo World coming to the United States.
I'm too excited to wait. I'll see you there.
Well, I'm Sarah Thompson, and that was Sydney Thompson. Let's follow her.
Supermassive Games, developer of the popular horror game Until Dawn, have announced their newest project in the works. The Quarry is a new horror game consisting of a group of 9 playable teenage counselors working together at a terrifying summer camp, Hatchet Quarry. Supermassive has announced it will have a co-op mode that will allow you to invite up to 7 players who can take control of a counselor or help vote on decisions. There will also be adjustable difficulty settings, including one called Movie Mode, where you can watch the gameplay instead of fighting to keep the characters alive. With regular settings, it will be up to the player which characters live, die, or even interact with each other, as there is the possibility for characters to get together. The Quarry is set to be released on June 10th, 2022 for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X.
For those hardcore fans of the Grand Theft Auto series waiting in eager anticipation for the follow-up game, sad news, you'll still have to wait. But while you wait, take a stroll down memory lane with a GTA 5 with improved graphics and gameplay enhancements. This update is available to PS5 and Xbox Series X players respectively, and while it comes at a price, the deal for the upgrade is not as ridiculous as video game purchases usually are. For PS5 users, the online version is free and a digital copy is $9.99, but only through June 14, 2022. Xbox fans may be a little disappointed to learn that they will have to fork up $10 additionally versus what PS5 users have to pay. Sony is really pushing for gamers to sway to their side, so much so that they were throwing in $1 million in virtual currency for PS5 Plus subscribers when purchasing the online version. Although the virtual currency deal lasted through March 14th and is no longer available, you will have to admit Sony is on top when it comes to appealing to their customers.
New racing game Gran Turismo 7 was down for over 30 hours between March 17th and March 18th. Players were a little more than upset with the game being inaccessible due to it just releasing on March 4th, and also having a $70 price tag. The downtime was due to an error with the implementation of patch 1.07, and on Friday morning, developer Polyphony brought the game back online with a new update fixing 1.07. Longtime Gran Turismo director Kazunori Yamauchi responded to the issue by stating, quote, "Immediately before the release of the 1.07 update, we discovered an issue where the game would not start properly in some cases on product versions for the PS4 and PS5. This was a rare issue that was not seen during tests on the development hardware or the QA sessions prior to the release. But in order to prioritize the safety of the save data of the users, we decided to interrupt the release of the 1.07 update and to make a 1.08 correctional update." End quote. Some fans have turned to Reddit to complain about the downtime as well as other issues they find with the game, while others just hope the issue doesn't occur again.
It has been announced that Nintendo is set to open a Nintendo-themed amusement park at Universal Studios in 2023. This will be the first American set location, for another Nintendo-inspired theme park has already been released in Japan. Said theme park will include the visual spectacle Nintendo games are known for, as well as rides and activities which can be recognized from some of Nintendo's more popular franchises. It is looking to be more of a Mario-themed park, but we wouldn't be surprised if many more franchises were involved, such as Zelda or Pokemon. If you want a reference on what we can expect for the park for when it is eventually released, many ride-through videos for their park set in Japan can be seen.
What's going on?
Wait,
does it air?
Sunday night.
What time?
9 p.m.
Thanks.
My name is Courtney Morrison. I study English with concentrations in creative writing and film studies and a minor in photography. When I'm starting a story, I spend a lot of time thinking about what I want to happen before I actually write it. And when I'm thinking about what I want to happen, I don't think of it in terms of writing really so much as I think about the scene. And then when I sit down, if I have a clear enough image in my head of what's going on, then I can write it clearly. The end usually happens when I decide this is where I'm stopping. It's like I come to that sentence or that moment, I'm like, this is where it has to end. I spend more time thinking about what I'm going to write than I actually do like writing. So if it's a very ambitious thought and I know that it's ambitious and I know that it's going to be difficult to write, I'll take a lot of time, maybe a few weeks before I ever even write anything down. If it's something that it's like a thought that I have and I want to work it out a little bit and see like what it could be, then I'll sit down immediately and start just writing whatever comes to my head so I can know like what's going on. Usually if I'm revising, it's during my writing process. So anytime that I'm writing a bigger piece, like anything more than a couple of pages, if I walk away from it, whenever I come back, I start at the beginning again. So if I have to come back and sit down at the computer 15 or 20 times, by the time I get to the end, I've read it 15 or 20 times and made changes as I go along. Sentence structure is a lot of what I pay attention to. For me, that's what writing is primarily. It's not the story so much, and I think a good story is very important, and I think some of the best literature that's out there is because it's a good story. But for me, it's about the language and like the way I'm putting the sentences together and the way I'm manipulating the sentences. When I read, I don't read exclusively in what I think should be my demographic, as like a 20-year-old or a woman or a college student or anything like that. I don't pick my literature based on those things. I just read whatever I think sounds interesting. And so I think I write whatever I think would sound interesting as well. I think the question of writing within one's own personal experiences is really popular right now because you get into gender and race issues, which are obviously highly publicized these days. And I think sometimes people become offended if a person writes outside of their actual life experiences. As long as you're writing respectfully and you're not claiming to know anything that you don't know, as long as you do your research and as long as you have something important to say, as long as what you're doing in earnest and you're not making fun of anyone or you're not trying to hurt anyone, I don't really see the problem with stepping outside of yourself.
Welcome back to Pixel Peak. Are you excited to play a fun party game with the hosts of Can't Think Straight, Harriet Inzor and Nate McDonald?
We better win.
I don't think we're going to be on the same team.
Then I better win.
Okay. Anyways, let's get into it.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pixel Peak, and we are going to be playing Jackbox games today, specifically Murder Trivia Party. I'm Sarah Thompson.
And I'm Sydney Thompson, and we're joined here with Harriet Inzor and Nate McDonald from Can't Think Straight.
Hello!
Hi.
Yeah, so it's trivia. If you get stuff wrong, they have like challenges for you to play, and sometimes it's working with people, usually it's against people. And so I'm going to make sure that I win. Y'all do okay, but not as well as me.
Right.
Alright, so we've got it loaded up. Whoever is number one, go for it.
Alright, everybody's in.
Only one of you will survive.
I'm excited.
I love trivia, so.
Me too, but I'm not usually good at it.
so bad.
Alright.
Okay.
First
You ever
question.
notice how the trivia at bars though? Those are
How
so
many
hard.
candles
Yeah.
do you
Kwanzaa
want?
candles.
Yeah.
Use
Is
your
it bad if I
device
don't
to
know
answer
it?
the question.
Don't cancel me if I don't. It doesn't say what you
Oh
did.
no! I did the wrong
And
one.
the correct answer is
I thought about that
I
one.
thought it was...
Yes, I got it right.
I
learn about content
consequences.
elementary school?
I did, but I mostly learned
learned
about
about all-
trains.
Welcome to room 113.
We learned
The
about all the
hair dryer is broken,
holidays.
sorry.
Wait, that was kindergarten.
Let's see who has ESP.
Shall I
Type
use
in an
my
answer
mouth?
that fits this category.
Yeah.
Everyone else will answer too. And if anyone matches
Oh
you,
no.
you die.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Okay, don't show your screen at all.
Oh no!
So fatal.
Oh, we both did too because we
We matched. Not all died.
All of you died!
It starts over, I think.
No,
Or it
I
keeps
don't-
someone alive.
No, you're alive still.
Yeah.
If
Oh, yeah,
everyone
no.
dies, it says, no, you gotta play again.
Y'all are
Dying
ghosties.
doesn't
Okay.
mean you have to
Ghosties
drop
with the
out.
But we
most
can
assist.
still
Fighting,
win.
and you just might steal someone else's
Yes, if I
life and
die.
win the game. Where's the Moulin Rouge?
Oh shoot. Oh god.
I'm gonna make
An educated guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna do process of elimination.
I
based
think I got it
on,
wrong.
I go off pronunciation.
Almost out of time. Who picked?
Because I knew French.
Dang it!
I knew French and he
I
said
said
it in a French way.
Barcelona,
Because I
Why
like
did
that
I
word.
thought Rouge was Spanish.
Which of these is a sweet noodle casserole?
Excuse me?
You only know this because of me.
Can I look at your screen real
It's
quick?
too late. It's literally because of a Can't Think Straight episode where
Yeah.
we made
Don't say
food.
Time to
food.
stop.
I'm guessing, bro. I want it to be this.
This.
I thought of it. I should
Bro,
have said
now
that.
you guys knowing that from Can't Think
I
Straight.
said,
Go watch
give
Can't
me-
Think Straight.
It's a family recipe.
Like
Not-
episode 4.
Please don't have.
Shut up.
Who picked
Wait, Pixel hat.
this? Everyone is
Why do we
wrong.
believe you, too?
Come
I
with
was
me.
like, it's kind of like a hoof. That was too perfect.
Oh, the
Wait,
lost
why
part of
no?
Wouldn't it be like.
Ooh, I'm about to get
a
killed
message
again.
to you. Right now, as much as what I say is
The fact that you
true.
all believe me.
Okay.
Two.
Okay.
And if anyone
We have
does
to
a better
listen.
job than
Oh,
you,
Yeah, we have to listen.
you're lucky this is such a good letter, and I'm starting it now. Dear old man Seaweed, thank you for lunch this afternoon. My favorite part? The crackers and cheese. Whatever was the name of that splendid cheese. I hope you didn't find my questions intrusive. I have one more. Have you ever been in love? Time's up. Alright, now let me get
Oh, mine was so bad.
Once over.
I'm just
And
felt
what's
so
the
much
result?
Ice back as cheese.
But did anyone do better than you?
Definitely.
Oh, I'm so
You got
good at this.
outperformed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What is this garbage? I've seen Reddit threads that make more sense than this.
I'm not good at typing on my phone.
Here's everyone's next question. And ghosts get a third choice to help them catch up to you.
Bang.
Hey!
Let's just call that a fluke.
Don't mind me catching up.
Next
It's okay.
question.
Not me thinking snails didn't have skeletons.
Candyland
Oh
locations.
shoot.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. Oh sorry.
Time
Don't
is
say it.
almost up.
I literally was in the Candyland production. I gotta remember this.
Oh! Oh, God.
WWE
What?
wrestlers.
Totally guessing.
Yeah, same. Liberty Bell.
Oh.
Dang.
Hey! Are you
Ace of
serious?
Fable.
I guessed again. Okay.
I knew one of them was a.
Oh!
No.
So, so close.
You're so close. I think you have to get the last one perfect though. I think.
Yeah.
The brands.
Yeah. I've never tried Belvedere. I know it's expensive.
Noted.
And that is answer choice now too.
Not Burgermeister, Meister Burger.
Oh.
Oh no!
Totally guessing.
You have to get all the right answers to escape.
I'm not out yet.
Next question. Monopoly Streets.
I mean, there's so many
I love
different kinds
Monopoly.
nowadays.
Yes!
No.
Yay, I did it!
That's so bad. I was so close.
A seal of approval. That was
Yeah.
kind of scary.
That
Pixel
was
piece.
scary.
You get to watch your favorite host lose at every game.
I don't want to lose every game.
Alright, even though I lost, I think that was a really good time, you guys. So thank you for joining us on Pixel Peak. And everyone go check out Can't Think Straight.
Thank you.
Bye guys. What a great start to our new segment.
Well, I don't think it's a great start.
Well, good thing this show is scripted and your opinion doesn't matter.
Rude. I'm going to send us to commercials now, and after this short break, we'll hear from analyst Ruby Hall, who is going to talk to us about Square Enix.
In 1899, the misty ridges of northwestern North Carolina became home to a simple yet powerful vision: to transform lives and the region through the empowerment of education. Nearly 120 years later, students still feel the pull of this unique place, and Appalachian has remained grounded in the vision of our founders, providing rural access to a sterling education and serving the region. The Mountaineer passion for lifelong learning is cultivated from an early age. Right now, Appalachian's youngest Mountaineers are developing critical learning skills while also discovering that college is in their future, and when they are ready, their college on the mountain will be ready for them.
So the children that go to school here at the Academy are from all across Forsyth County, particularly children who may be struggling readers. Our goal is to improve literacy for all students K-5, to work with them, bring in the curriculum through Appalachian State University and the Reading Clinic, and support learning across all disciplines.
The experience for a university student here at Middle Fork is really critical. We're able to show them what their practice that they're learning in the classroom looks like in action. So now we have this community of learners that aren't just little kindergarten through 5th grade students, but we also have teachers who are learning together with them. And they really are building a community that the Academy is really proud to be a part of.
So I've been teaching for 31 years, and one of the questions people always ask me is, why are you still doing this? Why aren't you retired? And my answer to them is because we finally got it right. These children are getting to interact with university professors. They are now identifying with Appalachian. They're saying, that's my college. I'm going to go to that college on the mountain. And they're very excited about that. And so now, these are children who could be first-generation college students. And they're already thinking about it and identifying as college students.
I love being here. I love being at the Academy because this is like one of the best opportunities that a principal can have. I mean, the amount of support I've had as a principal, it's just overwhelming. And I just like being a voice for children and to be a partner with the parents and a partner, on behalf of App State University. This is what I love doing, so I'm very thankful.
Hello, welcome to App TV. I'm Nate McDonald, and this week is National Transfer Student Week here at Appalachian State University, and actually the transfer services are holding an event today from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. where they're going to have free food and questions for anyone who's wondering about their transfer program. I'm going to see if I can get a few questions myself.
Hi, I'm Matt Huntinar. I'm the Associate Director for Transfer, Transition, and Engagement with Transfer Admissions and Engagement. And this week we're celebrating National Transfer Student Week. So we have events every day designed to, support transfer students. We want to, educate our campus community so they understand, more about transfer students, and really celebrate that 1 out of 4 students at App State is a transfer student. And so today we're in front of the Belk Library, and we've got Spin to Win. We've given out donuts this morning, and now we're doing pizza. We're very grateful that the Belk Library has partnered with us for this event.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So what would you say are the sort of resources that transfer services provide for incoming transfer students?
That's a great question. So we help First, we help all students because all students, transfer or traditional, bring in transfer credit, either through AP credit or a community college or another school. So from the very beginning, when they are applying, we articulate their credit, and then we have transfer orientation. And then once they get here, we have events and welcome to app, because we know that students, transfer students, they may struggle with acclimating to this new campus, the new university surroundings. And then once they're here, we have events to keep them engaged. So we have the Transfer Student Organization, Tau Sigma, which is the National Honor Society. And one of the groups that I'm very proud of is the Transfer Student Mentors. And those are students that transferred to app and they had a successful transition, and now they help other students transfer. But the other things we do is we help with a little bit of advising for incoming students. But once they get here, we just continue to support them until they their entire journey, hopefully till graduation.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So what would you say the rate of transfer students looks like this year as compared to former years?
It's good. App State has done very well with our first year numbers and our transfer numbers. This semester, we welcomed about 1,200 transfer students, which is about the same number we did last year. In January, we hope to welcome another 400 transfer students. So we're, App State, we're fortunate that we really haven't seen a decline in the number of transfer students. We're real happy too that this year we partnered with University Housing, and we have a residence hall that is dedicated to transfer students, Mountain Laurel Hall, and it's the largest on-campus transfer student community at App State. So we're very fortunate for that. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. I love this event and I can't wait to see more of it.
Welcome back to Pixel Peak. I'm going to be sitting down to talk with analyst Ruby Hall about some complications with Square Enix.
All right, let's hear what Ruby has to say.
Today I'm joined here with Ruby Hall to talk about Square Enix. Thank you so much for taking time to come here.
Thanks for having me back.
Of course. So recently, there has been talk about Chocobo GP featuring aggressive microtransactions. What do you think about these claims?
So when Chocobo GP came out, people's first major gripe with it was the fact that the progression system is really, really slow. They have two versions. They have a free version called Chocobo GP Lite, and then they just have the regular version Chocobo GP, which is $50 MSRP. And in the Lite version, this grinding that it takes to get these unlocks and these characters and cosmetics is just unbearably long, essentially strong-arming the players who play this version to buy into these battle passes and microtransactions. But it's still very much an issue for the people who did pay the full $50 to get in. They're still wanting to do this. They're locking beloved characters like Cloud, but all the way at the end of the battle pass, which is already really grindy to get through, and just forcing players just to keep going and going through this game. Even though it's a pretty decent game on its own, its progression system is just super, super flawed and really predatory.
Yeah, I get that. So the new Square Enix game, Babylon's Fall, has had very poor reception so far. What do you think caused this, and what's the future for this game?
So one of the first issues with Babylon's Fall is that it's Platinum Games' first live service title, which is really just weird for them because they are a developer known for making these single-player experiences like Astral Chain and Bayonetta, which are loved by the general gaming populace. But since Square Enix owns Platinum Games, they kind of force them to go into the live service kind of area. They've posted about it publicly, saying they're kind of transitioning to it. And it's kind of really sad because seeing this first attempt at it, it's just really disappointing because, first of all, it's a $60 game, AAA game. There isn't that much to do in it. It's just a really barren game. There isn't too much to do. It's like this fantasy RPG, but it's just empty. And it's also just really heavily monetized for all these cosmetics. They have a battle pass system and a ton of microtransactions. And that, along with a $60 entry price, just feels really insulting, and just, you don't even have that much game to play with these cosmetics, so they're not even worth buying. It just feels like a cheap cash grab more than anything.
Yeah, no, that's heartbreaking. So the Square Enix has been working with Platinum Games' live service titles. Can you explain to us what exactly that is and why it's off to a bad start?
So Babylon's Fall was just Square Enix just strong-arming Platinum Games into this direction. They have really just been coming out with these predatory practices lately to get even more money out of the industry, even though they've already seen so much success. We know Square Enix as a really huge publisher, and Platinum Games is just a really, really beloved developer. It's just really disappointing to see this angle. And not only is just off to a bad start, it's just, it feels like the downfall of a great studio.
Yeah, no, that's really hard. Square Enix has announced that they are looking into blockchain and NFTs. What would this entail?
So for those who don't know, NFTs are essentially these tokens that are stored on a blockchain, which is a network of computers doing a bunch of calculations just to have a ledger full of stuff. It's a bit complex to cover in one segment, but in short, an NFT is just a hyperlink on a ledger done by a bunch of computers who do way too many math problems to a point that they consume so much energy that is detrimental to the planet. NFTs use as much energy as the entire country of Argentina, so the environmental impact has been just obscene, and seeing Square Enix want to cash in on this trend is just really disheartening, because their CEO specifically comes out and puts out messages about wanting to move over to blockchain gaming and giving gamers NFTs so they can sell them for money as like a play to earn kind of scheme. It really comes off as just scummy, as the CEO really just tries to cash in and get the cash they can out of just this toxic trend. And even if you could call it a trend, it's not that many people even just use it, because people are aware of the environmental impact. So it's already a dying trend to begin with. And just seeing all of this just makes it feel really disingenuous.
Yeah, no, I'm glad people are noticing the environmental impact on this. Square Enix has recently been discussed as possibly mistreating their employees. Could you tell us a bit about this situation?
So the situation has actually been going on for a while. Unfortunately, it's just a really common practice among game developers, and it's just really unfortunate. Specifically with Square Enix, the big thing that's come up lately is the way they've been mistreating their QA teams by overworking them and just not paying them enough. They're forced to go through crunch labor, which can be traumatic for some employees who just never come back, and it just ruins their lives. And they're not compensated for this. They're treated like they're expendable. And it's just a really toxic workplace culture for these people. And on top of that, there's issues with harassment towards employees, especially women who work in the company. We've seen this again and again in other game studios, and it's just, these problems are never fixed, even though there's such large outcry for them. Just the games industry just really needs to work on treating its employees correctly, not using its fan base as a cash cow and milking it for as much as possible, and actually being cognizant of what their actions do to the greater world.
Yeah, well said. On that note, I will say thank you so much again for taking time to come here, Ruby.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, wow. Did you really have to run to each story?
What can I say? I wanted all the fun details. If you'd like to know what's happening for upcoming episodes, be sure to follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PixelPeakAppTV.
Don't forget to watch us bi-weekly on Thursdays at 3 on watchapptv.com, Skybest channels 20 and 1020, Spectrum channel 198, or on App State's campus television channel 23.3.
Again, thank you so much to our writers and producers, Elise Taylor, Seth Peterson, and Ethan Palmer, our analyst, Ruby Hall, and our special guests Nate McDonald and Harriet Enzor for another fun-filled episode.
Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks.